It's curious how we suffer from our inability to understand time. Nowadays, we are specialists in anxiety, which is nothing more than the inability to deal with time. An anxious person lives in the present, but is worried about something that might happen tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or even in a more distant future that we cannot foresee. We are always in a time that is not the present. We are either stuck in the past, reliving mistakes and regrets, or anxious about the future and what it might bring. And the present, the only moment we can truly experience, ends up being neglected. The past is recorded in our memory, but we can no longer change it. The future, on the other hand, is a possibility that also doesn't belong to us, as we have no guarantee we will live it. The only way to prepare for the future is to be fully aware of what we have now, of what is being given to us at this very moment. The book of Ecclesiastes speaks about time. There is a time to plant, a time to harvest, a time to weep, and a time to rejoice. Although this knowledge is quite common, why is it not enough to change our attitude toward time? Knowing alone is not enough. It is necessary for knowledge to penetrate our veins, to run like blood, to irrigate our minds and shape the way we think, feel, and act. Our relationship with time has been making us sick. How do we resolve this? By learning to set boundaries. When I realize that others' haste is harming my life, I put on the brakes. I do not accept imposed urgency. Of course, there are urgent matters, but we also have the right to choose what deserves our immediate attention. Sometimes things happen that leave us anxious, and in the end, they resolve themselves on their own. Often, we become involved in situations that do not concern us because we are easily affected by others' urgency. And in the end, we realize that these problems would have solved themselves without our intervention. How many times have we lost our peace and focus because of someone else's anxiety or urgency? The ease with which we send messages at any time is another trap. There are issues that could wait until the morning, but the urgency to express something makes us send a message in the middle of the night, disturbing other people's sleep. I remember once waking up in the middle of the night and deciding to check my phone, finding a message from a friend that brought me sadness and resentment. Sometimes, it's worse than dealing with someone's death, as anxiety can destroy us in an even deeper way. This story may have nothing to do with you, but perhaps you have found yourself in similar situations where others' haste became your own, stealing your peace. How many times have we disrespected ourselves in this way? How many times have I done this to people I love? Instead of waiting for the day to break, impatience takes over, and in anger, we send the message right then and there. All because we are in a hurry, because we do not know how to deal with the present, because we are overwhelmed by false urgencies that deeply harm us. It's becoming increasingly difficult to have an inner life these days. An inner life about turning inward, a perspective opposite to what we usually do. We are always looking outward, concerned about what others say, especially in times of politics, when each day brings news that discourages us even more. How can we cultivate an inner life if we are constantly stimulated to look outside? Personally, I notice people's anxiety when they share something. For example, when I play a song for a friend, I observe their reactions. Some people listen to the whole song and ask questions afterward, but there are others who, right from the introduction, start commenting, "Who sings this? Wow, their voice sounds like so and so." They aren't even paying attention to what I'm sharing. Their minds are already somewhere else. The other day, I sent a 5-minute song to someone, and in less than a minute, they responded, "How beautiful." Clearly, they hadn't even heard the introduction. What kind of anxiety prevents us from living in the moment, This haste is not limited to music. We are rushed in everything, even in how we eat. We don't savor our food. Anxiety makes us gulp everything down quickly without allowing our bodies to function properly. How many times do we eat while walking, without sitting at the table? We are always in a hurry, as if eating were a nuisance, a necessity we want to get rid of as quickly as possible, and sleep. How we neglect rest. Some people can't disconnect, holding their phones day and night. When they go to bed, they remain connected, compulsively checking social media, emails, and messaging groups. This anxiety prevents us from truly resting. The excess of stimuli and the false sense of urgency are making us sick. We need to slow down. Life calls for calm. The true flavor of life is only perceived when we live with patience, respecting the timing of things and allowing serenity to be a part of our lives. Practice breathing techniques to calm your body and mind. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Regular exercise releases endorphins, which improve mood and reduce anxiety. Even a light walk can make a big difference. Dedicate a few minutes each day to pray and meditate. This helps you focus on the present and reduce anxious thoughts. Having a structured routine can provide a sense of control and security, which is especially useful in times of uncertainty. Talking to friends, family, or a professional can lighten the emotional load. Sometimes, simply sharing your feelings can be a great relief. The excess of information, especially negative news, can increase anxiety. Set limits on how much time you spend consuming news. Take care of yourself. You should be the most important person to yourself. May God bless you.